Tom Holland's Spider-Man feels like a staple of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. His films are acclaimed and have smashed box office records, far surpassing the previous Spider-Man movies. However, it's strange to think that there was a time when Spider-Man in the MCU was nothing more than a distant dream and a complete impossibility.
Dear Sony and Marvel, when you make this new Spider-Man reboot, please, for the love of all things holy, do not have this man have anything to do with the production of it.
Late 2014 to early 2015 is an era many fans don't reflect on often, but for Spider-Man enthusiasts, it was a whirlwind of anxiety and anticipation. We weren't just waiting for updates on The Amazing Spider-Man 3, we were caught up in endless speculation about the character's future. Would Sony stick with the TASM series, reboot the franchise entirely, or could they strike a deal with Marvel to finally bring Spider-Man into the MCU?
It was story and character were actually not top of the priority list ultimately.
Got it. Yeah.
And
maybe
I found that really tricky.
Let's go back in time a little. It's late 2014 and there was a goldmine of news and uncertainty. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 had come out a few months prior and not only received poor critical reception, but it was also the worst performing Spider-Man movie at the box office. And if you were a fan at the time, there was uncertainty regarding whether Sony would continue the Amazing Spider-Man films. At least at the time, however, these worries were unfounded, as Sony, in our eyes, were fully committed to building a Spider-Man cinematic universe. There were spin-offs in active development like Venom and Sinister Six, and all kinds of bizarre rumors were being spread at the time. It seemed Sony had everything under control at the time, but there was something strange. For some reason, we hardly ever heard anything about The Amazing Spider-Man 3's development. Sure, some details did come out from time to time, like Spider-Man appearing in Sinister Six, donning the black suit, but for the most part, not a peep. It was even more worrying that the film kept getting delayed from the original 2016 release date. Fans, especially younger ones, were eager to see Andrew Garfield return as Spider-Man, even as critics and box office numbers cast doubt on the franchise's viability. Many believed that Sony would not dare to cancel the series, as it seemed too big to fail. However, behind the scenes, the future of Spider-Man was far more uncertain. October 2014 brought the first major rumors about Spider-Man's future, and it was something many of us did not expect. According to Hit Film, Sony and Marvel were in talks to bring Spider-Man into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, sparking a wave of speculation from the fanbase. Around the same time, Badass Digest suggested that the upcoming Sinister Six movie might reboot Spider-Man altogether, with a new actor taking on the role. The story would reportedly see Spider-Man teaming up with the Sinister Six to take down a larger threat, likely Oscorp. But to many of us at the time, this rumor was utterly ridiculous. There was no way Sony would reboot Spider-Man only after 2 movies. Unfortunately, these rumors would further be validated come December 2014, as the infamous Sony email leaks provided an even deeper glimpse into the studio's plans. These emails revealed that Sony were negotiating with Marvel to include Spider-Man in Captain America: Civil War and integrate him into the MCU in general. However, according to the emails, initial talks reportedly fell apart. with Sony rejecting Marvel's proposed terms. But the deal could still potentially be occurring. Apparently Marvel wanted to produce their own Spider-Man trilogy, one that focused on a younger Peter Parker. Marvel would basically have full creative control over these movies, while Sony would retain marketing rights, but no creative influence. This report did confirm, however, that if Sony did agree to Marvel's terms, Andrew Garfield would likely not return for the role, as the continuity of the TASM films likely didn't connect properly with the MCU timeline. Interestingly, according to sources that spoke about the leaks, Sony was developing its own reboot in case the Marvel deal didn't work out. They spoke about hearing various pitches from directors if it came to it, and one idea for this reboot would feature an older Peter Parker focusing on his adult life, his married life with MJ, and possibly adapting the comic series Kraven's Last Hunt. So basically, to sum it up, Marvel and Sony were in negotiations about what to do with Spider-Man. If Marvel could get Sony to agree with their terms, they'd develop their own version of Spider-Man within the MCU. However, if Sony rejected the terms, they'd simply just reboot the franchise yet again. Just when things seemed to be at their most confusing, December 2014 delivered another bombshell. Andrew Garfield was reportedly fired from the role of Spider-Man in October of 2014. According to reports, the decision stemmed from two major incidents. First, Andrew had publicly criticized Sony's handling of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, calling out studio interference and their focus on in-universe world building over storytelling. Second, Andrew had failed to attend a Sony event, which reportedly angered the company's Japanese executives. This news devastated fans. While public opinion on Andrew's Spider-Man had been mixed during the film's release, this moment sparked a newfound appreciation for his portrayal.
Keep Andrew as Spider-Man. It is not fair to him that he only gets to do 2 films and then he gets cut off. It is not fair. Listen to us. He is the right choice for Spider-Man.
Just try to keep away from rebooting, but if you just simply have to reboot, make it take place later in the timeline, have some villains already established.
Finally, in February 2015, Marvel would officially announce that Spider-Man would indeed appear in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and according to the Wall Street Journal, he'd appear in Captain America Civil War. It was also reported that he'd appear in his own solo film come July 2017. Marvel, in the end, seemed to have made a deal with Sony, so now they could officially move forward with their new reboot. With Spider-Man now officially confirmed to be in the MCU, this is now the era where news really ramped up for this new version of the character. Of course, false rumors were pretty rampant at the time, and many fans were heavily speculating if Spider-Man would appear in the Daredevil series. Kevin Feige would make clear that Spider-Man in this universe was running around New York City with a form of a homemade suit, and rumors about how the suit looked would become rampant. Many fan arts were present during this time as well, with many featuring popular fan casts at the time. Kevin Feige would once again describe elements of the MCU Spider-Man to the public, stating that Spider-Man's suit had already been designed by the creative team. However, the only description we had of the suit's look was that it looked similar to the classic Spider-Man costume. As a result, speculation about the suit design was of course rampant, with many trying to envision how they believed the Spider-Man suit would look like in the MCU. Fake descriptions of the suit were of course rampant as well, with some creating ridiculous renditions of the costume and attempting to pass it off as a leak. Rumored names for this new Spider-Man movie would be widespread, with some names like Spectacular Spider-Man and Spider-Man the New Avenger being the most popular rumored names at the time, and many fans got to work creating logos for these supposed leaked names. Excitement for this new Spider-Man film was crazy. However, we were still yet to know who would play the character. However, eventually reports started coming out that Marvel was looking to cast a 15-year-old actor in the part. This report also meant that popular rumored actors like Dylan O'Brien and Logan Lerman would likely never land the role. A shortlist would release in April of 2015, giving a list of actors that were being looked at for the part. Apparently, over 7,500 young actors sent audition tapes for the part, and ultimately Marvel landed on a shortlist which included Tom Holland, Nate Wolff, Asa Butterfield, Timothy Chalamet, Liam James, Matthew Lintz, Charlie Plummer, Judah Lewis, and Charlie Rowe. Eventually, after auditions, we'd learned that Tom Holland and Asa Butterfield were the favorite picks among Sony and Marvel. We all know the story by now. Eventually, Tom Holland would win the part as he just had this youthful energy and vulnerability that was perfect for the part. It also helped that he had the ability to perform complicated acrobatics, which really sold him even more. Marvel would continue to promote Spider-Man both in Civil War and his eventual solo movie, creating the most successful solo franchise in the entire MCU.
I'm good.